By the way, LeBron and Steph Curry tonight, the all-star players have been chosen. And behind closed doors, LeBron and Steph tonight will choose teams, which I think should be televised. I don't understand, in a world where, like, you know, kids go on these singing shows and get humiliated in front of judges, we're worried about hurting the feelings of Steph and LeBron. I want to see who LeBron takes. I want to see who Steph takes. The NBA, which is pro-gambling, where they're very progressive, but they won't televise tonight. The two stars choosing the teams. Rob Parker, what's your takeaway on the selection tonight?
LeBron James should be the bigger man and pick Kyrie Irving with his pick.
His first pick?
With his first pick. And I think it would be good for LeBron from this standpoint. That maybe now that he sees what life is post-Kyrie, that maybe he underestimated and didn't realize what a talent that Kyrie really is. I believe if he could do it all over again, and the way he both handled him and whether or not he would have made a pitch to try to keep him with him and acknowledge him more, I think that he would do it all over and he would change his way and would rather have Kyrie Irving still with the team now. That would give him a real chance to win, because he has no chance to win now.
What you're basically saying is, even whether or not you need Kyrie in your first pick, because if I was going to pick first, LeBron could pick Kevin Durant. I mean, that would be my pick. But Kyrie would definitely be a top 4 pick. So you take him, and it's sort of an olive branch.
Absolutely.
I made a mistake. I got your back. You know I love your game.
And you're a talented guy. It would go a long way with just NBA fans who saw the breakup. You know, people pick both sides. Kyrie went to Boston and made an immediate impact right from day one. I just think it's a respect thing. And I think it would be an olive branch that LeBron should think about.
You know, I think that's interesting.
You don't think you should take Kevin Durant first?
No. Forget Kevin Durant. He only wants to play on the best team.
Well, also, let's say Steph gets the first pick. He take a teammate. I mean,
No, LeBron gets the first pick.
Oh, so if I was LeBron, I listen, KD's a better player than Kyrie. I think Rob's idea is really smart. Because, by the way, if LeBron took Kyrie first, it would leak out. Like, that story would leak out. First of all, Watergate leaked out.
It would be a great story for LeBron.
It would. It would be bigger.
Do you guys even believe that they're choosing themselves?
Yeah.
No, I do.
Yeah.
And that's the reason why they're not televising it.
Because they don't want people to – it's obvious why they're not televising it, because if Steph Curry doesn't take Clay over John Wall or somebody, he looks best to play with him in the locker room.
What they should do is do it right before tip-off. Line them all up. Do it right before tip-off. Like high school dodgeball style.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay, here we go. We're going to play a game called Bull Stat. Here's how it works. Christine gives Rob Parker and I real stats. These are not make-believe, right? And we tell them, does it really matter, or it's a bull stat? It doesn't really have any significance, so here we go. Yeah, go ahead. There was no music there. I was waiting for a big sound effect. Yeah.
Okay, so you would argue that Brady is definitely the better quarterback than Nick Foles, right?
Yes, right.
Okay. Well, there are only 2 quarterbacks in history to have a completion percentage above 75%, a passer rating above 100, and no picks in a single season. That would be Joe Montana when he won the Super Bowl in 1989, and Nick Foles this season. So, does that mean that Nick Foles will win the Super Bowl? Is that a real stat or a bull stat?
Real stat. Joe Montana's the architect of it. You're seeing what Nick Foles can do. People act like Nick Foles came out of nowhere. He was hiding in the closet and had never thrown a ball in the NFL. This guy's a good player and has played very well for Philadelphia. It's a sign of things to come.
Nick Foles is a backup. Joe Montana's great. This is a bull stat.
Wait, so Rob, you think that the Eagles are right?
Sometimes it's just, you know, stats line up and you're like, oh, my God, this team did that. Nick Foles has played a couple of home games off a bye. By the way, Atlanta was shot. Minnesota just come off the miracle win, so they got no.
That was the best defense in the league. Don't now poo-poo their defense like it was nothing.
All right.
He shredded it.
All right, next.
So, Rob, the Eagles are winning the Super Bowl?
Yes, I got the Eagles.
Okay.
I don't even need the points. I'm talking about just straight out.
All right. By the way, last time you and I made
Yes, I was going to say I do owe you dinner.
You do? What happened?
No. Jacksonville ran out of time.
Okay.
You actually still owe me wearing a Tom Brady goat shirt.
If he wins the Super Bowl, I will wear it.
No, you already owe it to me, so you're going to have to wear it next week.
I'll wear it.
Okay, here's another stat that Rob, I think, would support you. that Brady would lose the Super Bowl. So Tom Brady led the league in passing yards this season. That is bad news for Brady because no player to lead the NFL in pass yards has ever won the Super Bowl. Those people have an 0-5 record.
Colin, you all right over there? Don't faint, because you know what? That's a real stat. And look at it. We have enough back game 0-5, right, to be able to say that that's a legitimate thing to look at. And I just think that, you know what? Along with that, the Eagles have been disrespected, downplayed the whole way. They beat Atlanta. They beat the best defense in the league, and they're going to beat the Patriots.
I think that's actually a real stat. What that tells you is when a team comes in with a high-voltage passing offense, they often lean on that high-voltage passing offense. Now, I do think New England's a little contrarian to that, where they don't really rely on anything. Some games they run, some games, they won a Super Bowl without Gronk. But I think that stat is telling you that when a team comes in and they are very reliant on a vertical, up-the-field passing game, teams come in and face them and know, usually a good defense gets to the Super Bowl and knows, we got to stop that one thing. I do think New England's different than most teams, but New England, I would say this year, and in previous Super Bowls against Atlanta and Seattle, didn't run the football. New England has couldn't run the football against Jacksonville. New England has become, it's not a vertical passing game, they become kind of reliant on the pass in big games.
Okay, here's a stat that's in favor of Brady and the Patriots winning the Super Bowl this year. Teams wearing white, which the Patriots are wearing, have won 12 of the last 13 Super Bowls. Is this a real stat or a bull stat?
Bull stat. Oh, I'm sorry. That's a bull stat. Uniforms? Are we really going to sit around here and talk about what color uniforms people are wearing and whether or not that determines anything that happens on the field?
Let me ask
if
you.
That's the case, the Detroit Lions with the Honolulu blue and silver would have won many Super Bowls, right? But they have never even been to the Super Bowl.
Let me ask you. Do baseball players, you're a Hall of Fame voter, do they go to the plate and they have routines?
Sure they do.
Why would that be?
Superstitious?
Why do golfers, why do they have routines? Because psychologically they feel it matters. Do you remember what Bill Belichick did a couple of years ago when the Cowboys came to New England? Dallas wore blue because Belichick never does this, decided to wear the road whites in Foxborough, forcing Dallas into their less lucky blues. There is a reason golfers and baseball players have routines. It is psychological. We know the placebo effect is real. New England has had great success recently in the last 2 Super Bowls in white jerseys.
And you don't want to say that any of that success has to do with
No.
a total meltdown
By the way,
from Atlanta.
I'm not saying I'm not saying Wade Boggs hitting was about the superstition.
Was it about the chicken?
All
I'm
saying, Rob, is that it is part of it. Now, that's why baseball players have their routine. I'm not saying it gets 90% of the credit. Does it get 3%? It is, and by the way, these New England Super Bowls, they all get decided by a field goal.
Don't you have a lucky shirt or something, Rob?
Lucky shirt? No,
Yeah.
no.
Really? Not like lucky socks?
Or something I see that I wear every so often. Yeah, I think I have a pair of socks. Matter of fact, I'm probably the only guy in 2018 that took my socks to the tailor because they were getting holes in the front.
No,
and
you
instead
did
of
not.
buying, I swear.
Because they're your lucky socks.
I had them stitch the holes up in the socks rather than buy new socks.
All right, that was Bullstat. Thank you very much, Rob Parker. Coming up next, the outspoken Mike Missanelli, Philadelphia guy, getting in my face. It's The Herd.